I'm in a place I wanna be.
So welcome to the Wednesday Shorts Nutrition Series. My name is John Taglieri, coming to you from the Fit Show kitchen. My guest today, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Stretch Rumaner. How are you, sir?
Wonderful. You can just call me Stretch if you want.
Stretch?
Yeah, I just use Stretch. I don't use my last name. It's too complicated.
It is? I don't know. See, people screw my last name up a lot. I can't see them screwing up your last name.
Well, you go by Tag, John Tag. It's short.
That's true. I do go by Tag these days because everybody screws my name up.
Right.
So how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm busy. Getting ready to roll into the holiday weekend. I'm at one of my restaurants right now, dialing stuff in over here, working on menus, and trying to treat the world the way I want to be treated.
There you go. What's on the menu this week for you?
So actually,
knowing you, it's not traditional.
No. I kind of beat around. Last year I did a little Cornish game hens for everybody. My little twins love it. But this year I'm going to do ribeyes. We're going to do a little bit of turkey, and some big tomahawk ribeyes is going to be the main feature. And then
Nice.
Ancillary categories. All the stuff goes around to hold up this little structure, I think.
So are you doing the stuffing and the yams and the sweet potatoes and the corn and mashed potatoes and all that too?
No corn. I don't take it back as far as the Pilgrim Day stuff, but we are definitely going to have some cranberry sauce. I love cranberry sauce. I don't like it out of the can necessarily. I do think I like the little jiggle and wiggle that a cranberry can give you. But we're going to make that fresh. My wife's on top of that. We're going to make some really nice gravy to go with the little bit of turkey we're going to make. And the yams. I like a yam. I like my marshmallows and yams. I think that makes it fun. That just brings me back to my childhood stuff. And green beans. I love green beans with some really nice bacon, So I'm getting a little bit of meat, a little bit of greens, and then a nice big tossed salad with some house dressings. And
there you go.
It's all about the family, and just getting to it.
So now as a show that we're talking about staying fit and being fit, one of the things I tell people is, look, if you're working out, if you're eating right most of the time and you're working out on a regular basis, one day is not going to make a difference. However, one day can kind of screw up your routine if you overdo it on that day. So as a chef, as somebody who's cooking such a great meal like that, what would you say to somebody who you don't want to overdo it? How to load the plate? What's the good regimen to stick on the plate so people don't overdo it?
Just tell you this: when you asked me to do the fit show,
I know
you got the wrong number and you hit the wrong stretch in your phone book, because fit and stretch don't necessarily go hand in hand. I do one sit up a day unless I take a nap, and then I usually roll out of bed anyway. But I am health conscious somewhat. I think anything and everything in moderation is key to whether you're drinking or sports or workout or love, for that matter. Everything in moderation. You don't ever want to overdo it. And I think around Thanksgiving time, people want that gluttony. There's a great painting by Hieronymus Bosch called "The Island of Cocaine." Almost like cocaine, and it is all about gluttony, where if you eat so much food, look this painting up and get out your old art history book.
Definitely will.
And these guys, there's a beautiful painting, and food is literally just jumping into their mouth, and they're laying under these trees. They've eaten so much food that they've passed the quota. Now food just jumps into their body. They don't even have to hunt it, kill it, cook it, or anything else like that. But Thanksgiving is a time for family and getting together and eating great food. And art, food, and music cross all boundaries for me, first off. But
right, same here.
And so when you get to that dinner table and you have all that stuff, all the great food that you could theoretically have throughout the year, but you wait for one day to digest as much as possible. It never made sense to me anyway. Why you'd want to travel 45 minutes to a family member's house, indulge as much as possible, and sit back. And I mean, you go into the day putting on stretchy pants. It doesn't make I'm taking it to a whole nother level anyway. It's like,
Yep.
Oh, I got to open up my belt. Really? Do you really have to eat that much? So it's about moderation. And one of the quick, easy things you can do at that is serve food on smaller plates. So then it's always overflowing. It's a real easy thing to do. And then you can only handle so much, and you can dial yourself in. You can get some of the mashed potatoes, you get some gravy, you get the stuffing, you get the turkey. I would definitely do it in layers. Obviously, watch your alcohol consumption. It's very important to have some really nice Manischewitz with that dinner. But
I'm a wine guy. Here on the Fit Show, we have a wine sponsor. So every Monday, we're drinking wine from Nantucket Vineyard.
and who is that?
Nantucket Vineyard.
Nantucket Vineyards. Nice. I guess they didn't have any problem with the Sonoma fires, huh?
I don't believe they did.
Not if they're from Nantucket.
No.
Opposite coast. Well, that's great to have a great sponsorship like that. Yeah. I think wine goes hand in hand and it can pair really well. But I don't know if you're having a roast or, a ribeye or a turkey, and sample everything. It's not about quantity. It's about flavor profiles and hitting it at the right moment throughout the meal. I don't pound just the dark meat. I don't just pound the breast meat. I don't just go straight for the stuffing. Look at it as in balance and how you want to feel the next day and that evening. I don't think anybody ever wants to feel completely bloated and said, "Oh my God, I ate so much." You want to just be able to have a conversation and eat and nibble and digest. Almost like we should just, do like turkey tapas, Thanksgiving Day tapas, small plates, a little variety of everything. Nosh as you talk about the family and the kids and the dog and the school and, the plays and whatever music things are going on. I think that's really the way to enjoy that family dinner, so you can get to meet up with everybody. It's not just the feast, it's everybody coming together when you can.
So I grew up in an Italian household, very Italian, Sicilian and mid-Italy. And our holidays were long distance events. They started at 10, 11 in the morning, and they went till 1, 2 in the morning.
That's marathon.
And it was 15 different courses throughout the day of breakfast type food, and then cold antipasto, hot antipasto. Then of course you would get to the ham, and then the turkey, and all the sides, and then there were desserts and aperitifs. Always wine, always coffee, always pastries. And as a kid, I never thought much about it. You just ate because all that food was there. As an adult, as what's coming up on an elder statesman at this point in my life, and as somebody I've just
40.
lost, what was that?
You're looking good for 40.
That 50.
Hey, see that?
It's a pretty face for 50. And with all the weight loss that I just had, and knowing the things I do now, like the last few years in training and stuff, I was always very selective about what I would put on my plate. But this year, I'm like, I'm just going to eat whatever I want. It's one day. But that bloated feeling is definitely what I don't want. And that's the one thing. And the turkey coma. That's something else I want to try to avoid, is that right after the meal, you've eaten so much turkey that you're just like, boom, out,
Tripped, try.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like Worcestershire. Can't say it. Tryptophlebophlimophlamin.
But I think if you periphery the plate and then turkey in the middle, you have less room for the turkey. So that'll kind of help that. Now with what you're cooking, how big of a portion are the ribeyes that you're doing and stuff?
They're easily 2-inch ribeye, but I have 2 for 6 adults. So I'm pre-portioning it right off the bat.
Right.
Now, you can cut those babies in half and have 1-inch steaks and have 4 across the board, in a sense. Like my mother-in-law, she'll just nibble on the bone the whole thing. So I'll take those. I'll sous vide them, actually. So I'll cook them all the way perfect, and then I'll flop them on the grill. So that's something else about prepping for a dinner. I don't want to have to spend all my time on the grill or making food. And that's where a lot of families also gain a lot of stress. That's why everyone, they don't, I don't want to go there. It's a nightmare. That's because everybody puts so much stress on having that, that Norman Rockwell painting setup with the turkey in the middle and all the peripherals.
Right.
If you can prep as much earlier than that day and or be ready, and know it's family and there's going to be problems, and Uncle Joe's going to get drunk, and someone's going to drop a plate on the floor and they're going to get cranberry sauce and a white tablecloth. Don't put a white tablecloth out. My mom used to do that. It would drive everybody. It's like, we're going to make a mess, Mom. We're kids, we're going to throw gravy and biscuits and whatever it's going to be. So try not to have that stress involved. And people, I think, stressing out when they come to those families, they eat a lot as well. So
stress is definitely a driver.
Portion that before they even get there. That can help regulate it. But we're doing, the majority of it is going to be a red meat at this point. By the time we get around to turkey, I smoke turkeys all year long for people. My restaurants are all smoking turkeys and selling them to people. They want that traditional thing like they had in their family, whether they're growing up in an Italian family. They want that big, beautiful looking turkey when you can actually just get the breast, and it might even be healthier for you. Or, you
Right.
know, or some people like the dark meat or the legs. And, you know, if it doesn't come out perfect, now everyone's deep frying turkeys because it's kind of a fun, you know, you can blame the Food Network for that. And it's also an explosive event in the backyard. If you got a bunch of fireballs going up in the neighborhood, it's kind of like 4th of July. And you lose some eyebrows or hair for that matter.
Well, I'm safe.
So it's you know, it's one of those things that however you cook that turkey as well. And you also want to portion it. You don't want a bunch of leftovers. If not, you don't want it in the house for the next day because you're on that 1-day regimen. Make sure you have sandwich baggies and bread for everybody to go. Let them take it home. Have it ready to go. Have your seal meal, boom, it's out the door. And you can do a nice, you know, turkey wrap in a couple days. You can do a turkey soup. You can, you know, everything should be at least 2 or 3 things before it comes soup. But you can, you know, just take it to a whole nother level and drag that one bird out rather than throw it out or give it to the homeless or something like that. But there's ways to do it and get those family members. You don't have to eat it all. We have to-go bags for you. That
Right.
also lets them know that they don't have to fill their quota. It's like, well, that's an 18-pound bird. There's only 6 of us. That means I got to eat 3 pounds myself. You know, they don't have to do the math, you know?
Right.
So,
So really it's portion control. I mean, nutritionally, a Thanksgiving Day meal is across the board. There's carbs, there's fats, there's kind of everything involved. There's protein. There's across that table, everything nutritionally is there. You know, if you're a health conscious guy who's watching your macros, if you're somebody who's watching what you put in and everything, and your timing and everything, this isn't the day to do it. It's just the day to maybe not overdo it.
correct. Because there's 365 days in a year, and there's a lot of drummed up holidays to drink and eat a lot at.
True.
Or mitzvahs, whatever it's gonna be, you know, Valentine's, you know, anniversaries. So you want to do it that same thing on those things. You don't want to go overboard. You want to just moderate whatever you're gonna put in your body any day of the week. And on a big day like Thanksgiving, where everyone's coming together, and also if you are kind of health conscious, it's about teaching other people around you about those things and why you're putting them in your body without being an authority to turn people off who are just going to shovel more food in their face. Like,
Right.
well, if you're not going to eat it, John, I guess I have that plate full of stuff. You know?
Where can everybody find you online, my friend?
Oh, you can go to grinderspizza.com, which is the restaurant one, at Stretch Artist on Twitter, at Stretch Artist on Instagram, Stretch Rumaner, Rumaner, for Facebook. Stretch the Entertainer on Facebook. So just Google Stretch. It's just the world of Stretch chaos.
Very nice. How have the restaurants been doing?
Restaurants are great, man. We have about 185 employees now. I'm actually in Leavenworth, Kansas right now, gearing up for the Beast Before the Feast, is what the big party we have here. We're about half a mile from the base, the fort, as well as several of the prisons.
Yep.
A huge party here. And this is where my brewery is located. So the brewery's all, you know, pumping out a bunch of beer, getting ready for tonight.
Nice.
Getting ready to open in Lawrence, Kansas next. What's under construction out there. The downtown ones, excuse me, our music season just ended. Had a great music season down there. We had everybody from, you know, the George Thorogoods and the Blondies to Elvis Costello again this year. We can do about 3,000 people there. I hear the Tag may come through there some year, but I don't know. But,
We would love to do that. I would love to come on out there and play at your place. So for those who don't know, and I can't imagine anybody who's watching our show isn't going to know who you are. Stretch is a restaurant owner, a sculptor, owns a brewery, owns a live music venue, has been on how many shows on Food Network now? 6, 8?
at least 10 plus.
Yeah. Diners, drive-ins, and dives. There's
Bar Rescue. I had my own Animal Planet show, Pitmasters, Travel Channel, Pizza Paradise, Guy's Grocery Games a couple times, Guy's Big Bite. I've done a half dozen Extreme Home Makeovers. I've Barbecue Brawl. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of them. There's that one weird porn I did.
well, we've all got one of those.
With food porn.
That's how we all start our careers, man.
That's,
I mean, if Sylvester Stallone could do it, I mean, the rest of us should be able to.
right on. He's still that guy. He's
Dude, he looks amazing.
Amazing.
Go find Stretch online. Go look at all his websites. Next week, we have Mike Dolia from Stronger You Nutrition coming on the Wednesday show. And we're going to get into post-Thanksgiving recovery and a lot of nutrition stuff next week. Once again, today's guest was Mr. Stretch I know it's Stretch Rumaner. Today we had Stretch on the show, damn it. And Stretch, I want to thank you for taking time out of what I know is an incredibly busy schedule to do this with me. And everybody, please go find Stretch online. Find him on Facebook, Instagram. Stop by his websites. If you're ever in the Kansas City area, especially, stop at his restaurants. Check him out. Where's your breweries?
The brewery is in Leavenworth, Kansas. I have my restaurant there.
Now, are you shipping out, or is it just in town?
We're distributing 2 states right now, Kansas and Missouri.
You need to send some to the Fit Show so we can try that.
We will get a couple growlers out your way.
There you go.
Gets there because it's illegal.
Is it?
We can transport it, though. I can transport it out. I can't sell it to you over state lines, but we can transport that because we only do things by the law.
Of course. Absolutely. Everybody, thank you so much for watching today. This has been the Wednesday Shorts Nutrition Series from the Fit Show. Thank you for Stretch for being on. We'll see you guys all next week.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yes.
And then there's that.